Palestinians used to think that nothing could be worse than a military occupation, but that was before they got acquainted with the effects of a privatized occupation. In June 2007, the Israeli army started outsourcing the checkpoints along the annexation wall to private security companies. Although over 90% of the wall runs beyond the Green Line and as deep as 22 kilometres into Palestinian land, there is mounting evidence that the Israeli government has plans to declare the wall the final border of the state. In that case, the privatised checkpoints would turn into permanent border crossings. The outsourcing of the checkpoints has paved the ground for these developments and has been designed to save money and soldiers.
It was too much of an expensive. I don't just mean in money, in manpower, in the damage it does to the soldiers. They don't care about the Palestinians. They really don't. They don't think about the Palestinians. They think about the soldiers. And they need the soldiers now to make another war with Iran or with Gaza or with who knows who.
Mahsom Watch is an Israeli grassroots organisation devoted to monitoring human rights violations at the checkpoints. Since their privatisation, the activists from Mahsom Watch have been prevented from entering those checkpoints manned by the security companies.
If they had nothing to hide, then they wouldn't prevent us. Why are they hiding there? What's happening there that we are not allowed to see? And you know, what crimes are happening there?
Outsourcing the checkpoints means that the army and the state have also benefited from the fact that the private-owned enterprises are not directly accountable to the general public.
As long as the soldiers were there, you had an address to complain. You know that the soldier has someone above him and someone above him, and there are ranks in the army, and you know who to complain to. In these private companies, you might complain to someone at the terminal itself, but he doesn't have to give us any answers. And it's a private organization, it's not the army. He doesn't owe anyone any answers, and he probably won't give any answers. And of course their contract can be taken away, so they will do it much harsher than the soldiers, because if anything happens, they lose the contract.
Together with activists from Mahsom Watch, we went to one of the privatised checkpoints at Irtah, near the West Bank city of Tulkarem. Hundreds of Palestinian workers cross this checkpoint every day at sunrise. During our visit, we spoke to relatives of Palestinian prisoners on their way to Israeli jails.
المشاكل بوقفونا بفتشونا بنرفع ايدينا زي هيك بفتشونا كل جسمنا وبفوتونا على الغرف بنقعد فيها ربع ساعة أو نص ساعة بعدين بيطلعونا برا، واللي معاه بنات من سن 17 لسن 30 هذول بفوتوهم على الغرف يحكوا مع يظلهم ساعة، أيام ساعتين، أيام ساعة ونص. قبل أحسن، قبل التعامل أحسن، لأنهم كانوا بسرعة يعني نروح ونزور ما نطولش.
وسطهم مترترين مطار، معكفين مطار. زي كل ما شيء مسافرين كيلو، زي ما שאנחנו יודעים, زي ما שהם מספרים כאילו. שקשה להם פה, קשה להם עם החברה הזאת. הם אומרים שהם החיילים יותר נוח להם אפילו.
Israeli companies like Shelek Lavan, Shmira Ubitahon or Modin Ezrahi are just a few of those involved in the profitable checkpoint business. In the case of Irtah, the company in charge is a Tel Aviv-based Mikud guarding security services and cleaning. After several attempts to get an interview with Mikud, the company refused to comment.
These security companies that you see also around Israel in shops and canyons and shopping malls and other places. But the ones that I've looked into more carefully, they are either connected to one or the other political party. And they have political connections, they have contributed money to political parties. You know, if you get such a job, it's a big job, there is a lot of money in it.
Palestinians crossing the checkpoints have almost come to yearn for the return of the soldiers, while the army claims that privatised checkpoints are more humane and will give a better service to their unwilling customers. But in the discussion of which kind of checkpoint is better, or indeed less bad, the main question, should these checkpoints exist in the first place, easily gets lost.
I think what is important is what's happening here, the system. The general idea. This is the army always tries, or the government, the Israeli government always tries to tell you that we are the most moral country that there is, and we don't do any war crimes, and we don't. And if we do a war crime, it's because a rotten apple has appeared. And occupation is the most human occupation that there ever was. What's humane about it?